The Leviathan, king beneath the waves. The origin of the Leviathan. Before maps had edges, before oceans had names, sailors believed the sea itself was alive and angry. From the deepest trenches to the black horizon, one name rose again and again in whispered prayers and splintered ship logs: the Leviathan. In ancient lore, the Leviathan was not merely a creature. It was a force of creation and destruction. Born when the world was still soft and unfinished, it was said to have taken shape from the chaos of the deep. Some legends claim it was forged to test humanity's arrogance, a living boundary reminding mortals that the ocean was never theirs to conquer. Descriptions varied, but the core remained the same. A colossal serpentine beast, longer than kingdoms, armored in scales like forged iron, eyes glowing like submerged suns. When it moved, the sea followed. When it surfaced, storms were born. To early civilizations, the Leviathan explained the unexplainable: why ships vanished, why waters boiled, why the horizon sometimes roared. 2. Myth versus fact. Myth tells us the Leviathan breathed fire, shattered fleets with its tail, and could swallow a ship whole without slowing its swim. Some accounts say it circled the world endlessly, keeping the oceans contained. Others insist it slept for centuries, waking only when disturbed. Fact, however, is quieter, but no less terrifying. Modern science shows us that the ocean already holds creatures once believed impossible. Squid longer than buses, sharks older than trees, whales heavier than castles. The Leviathan may not have been a fire-breathing god, but the myths could be exaggerations of real encounters with animals too large, too sudden, and too alien for early minds to process. Where myth added flames and fury, reality may have offered scale, shadow, and silence. Their third, human encounters, when legends touched wood and flesh. Stories from sailors are strikingly consistent across cultures and centuries. A fishing vessel dragged backward against the wind, its anchor line snapping like thread. A dark mass rising beneath a calm sea, lifting an entire ship before letting it crash back down. Coasts where the tide receded unnaturally fast, followed by waves that flattened entire villages. Some survivors claimed to see vast coils beneath the surface. Others described ridged backs like mountain ranges moving just below the waterline. A few spoke of hearing sounds, deep, resonant vibrations felt in the bones more than the ears. On land, legends tell of massive carcasses washing ashore, so large they were mistaken for islands until they began to rot. Entire communities would gather, argue, pray, and sometimes flee. Whether truth or terror, one thing is clear. People believed they had seen something real. Could the Leviathan have actually existed? So, could a Leviathan have been real? From a biological standpoint, a single immortal sea god is unlikely. But a species? A lineage? A now extinct giant? That possibility is harder to dismiss. The prehistoric oceans were home to creatures far larger than anything alive today. Massive marine reptiles, super predators, and deep-sea giants thrived when oxygen levels were higher and ecosystems richer. Even today, over 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. If a colossal deep-dwelling creature existed, rare, solitary, and migratory, it could easily have inspired centuries of sightings without ever being fully documented. The Leviathan may not have been one monster, but many encounters woven into one legend. What would it take to kill a Leviathan? In ancient times, defeating the Leviathan was thought impossible without divine help. Myths speak of gods striking it down with lightning, enchanted weapons, or cosmic chains. Humans alone were never meant to win, only survive. Realistically, ancient technology stood no chance. Wooden ships, iron blades, and fire would have been meaningless against something with the mass of a mountain and the strength of a storm. Today, however, the equation changes. Modern weapons, sonar tracking, torpedoes, coordinated naval firepower, could theoretically kill a creature of enormous size. But doing so would require massive coordination, accurate targeting, and an understanding of its biology. And even then, the ocean favors its own. A creature adapted to crushing pressure, darkness, and cold might endure more punishment than any land animal ever could. Phi, where the Leviathan stories really came from. The truth is likely a convergence of many things. Encounters with whales, giant squid, or unknown deep-sea animals. Ships caught in underwater earthquakes or rogue waves. Carcasses of massive creatures decomposing beyond recognition. Fear amplified by isolation and open water. Oral traditions growing larger with each retelling. The ocean is a perfect breeding ground for legends. It hides evidence, distorts scale, and leaves witnesses shaken and unsure of what they truly saw. When you combine that with humanity's instinct to personify danger, you get monsters. Seventh. Final thought, the Leviathan never truly died. Whether the Leviathan was a god, a beast, or a story born of fear, one thing remains true. The ocean is still vast, still dark, still largely unknown. And every time a sonar ping echoes into nothing, every time a shadow moves beneath a ship, every time something massive breaches and vanishes without explanation, the Leviathan lives on, not as flesh and scale, but as a reminder. We are guests in the deep, and some doors were never meant to be opened.